my fellow tax preparers with some common errors by tax preparers that you guys need to be avoiding each tax season. We're human. We make mistakes and stuff like that. A lot of times the software can catch a lot of mistakes what we make. But, I think if I go over these couple things to help my fellow tax preparers out, it'll be very, very beneficial to you, for you and your customers. How about that? The first thing, guys, I want to make sure that, guys, you don't have any wrong or missing Social Security numbers. Usually, with the advent of just having tax preparer software, usually if the names are misspelled or the Social Security number's wrong, usually once you shoot it up, if it's an error with it, IRS usually sends it back to the software company to let you know that their database isn't matching in regards to the actual way the name is spelled out and their respective Social Security number. So that's usually something that you can catch. But kind of just make sure we proofreading everything to make sure that we don't have anything that's misspelled or the Social Security may be inverted, transposed rather. So just make sure we're doing a good job of proofreading to make sure we don't have wrong or missing Social Security numbers, okay? Next, the same thing goes with the names. Make sure that those names are spelled correctly. Again, usually once you shoot it off, being the actual person that's filing or dependents, usually if it's not matching in the databases, it's going to get rejected and get sent back to you. You have to fix it. But who wants to go through all that? Depending on how your office is set up, you may immediately send everything off to the IRS while the client is there, or you may do it at a certain time of the day. You don't want to have situations where you're calling somebody to ask them, hey, can you give us verification on your name or something like that, because you're supposed to have all this stuff in front of you. Again, we make mistakes, but the little things sometimes can put, certain ideas in the actual customer's mind. Well, how they spell my name wrong, why they got my Social Security number wrong. So we want to avoid those particular things. So again, do a great job of proofreading, double and triple checking everything before you send anything off, okay? Filing status errors. Definitely make sure you want to keep asking maybe several times, even if you have it on paper, exactly how they're filing. Sometimes people, have, it may be a current client. They were married at some point, and now they're no longer married. You didn't know what happened during the year. Now they need to file head of household because they have dependents. They may have been single with dependents, with head of household 1 year, and they've got married. You don't know that. You never know it unless a person tells you exactly this was going on new in my life. You always want to ask. We never want to assume. You always want to ask. You never want to assume, okay? So make sure we're on top of those things with those filing errors, because, again, that is something that can be sent out forward and you may not be aware of it. Because, again, even if it's not like a child or something, maybe a dependent being a niece, nephew, or parent or something like that, that they're starting to claim that they were filing single before and now they claim somebody, and now they're filing head of household and you didn't know. And it can make subtle differences, or it can make a huge impact on that bottom line number. So we definitely want to always ask and verify what their filing status is, okay? Again, guys, depending on how your office is set up, if you do a new intake form each year, or it's a repeat customer. And a lot of times the problem with repeat customers is what? We get comfortable with them and we make data errors because, again, we don't ask them because you know them, you dealt with them over the years, and they didn't come out and let you know, hey, my spouse died, I got married, my child is no longer, being claimed by me. They may not just come out and say that, so it behooves you to always ask, okay? Basic math mistakes. Guys, listen, here's the deal. Software make errors too. Me being an accountant and reconciling accounts for, over 20 years, you see that sometimes, you may have somebody, at the lockbox at the bank may have made a data entry or transposed the number here and there wrong, and, you're going through doing your reconciliation looking, sometimes it happens. Sometimes the software is off. That's why they do updates, because they have bugs and glitches in their system. So always do check, okay? The software is to make you to speed up everything, help everything move more effectively and efficiently, but computers are wrong also. So you do want to do a good job of double and triple checking everything. I cannot stress that to you guys enough, okay? Another one, not including all income. Okay, this is my advice. This is checklist for my tax preparers out there. Even if you're not a tax preparer doing your own, this is a list that you guys can go over. Not listing all your income. You got to make sure you're asking your clients, listen, these are the jobs you work for the particular year. A lot of times what people will forget, that little small part-time job they may have worked in between their jobs. They only, did maybe a couple weeks at this particular convenience store. Maybe forgot about the little, week or a month they was at Walmart, and they filed a tax without receiving that W-2. They may have did a gig job. They got a 1099 that they forgot totally about, that you're not reporting on their income. You have to make sure that you actually, accounted for that stuff. So you have to make sure you ask them that and let people know. I'm from the school of thought. I would wait. I would wait till maybe the first, or probably best case, the second week of February to file your taxes, because just in case, unless you are sure that this is everything. And the reason why I say that, you want to make sure you have all documentation. If you know you only lived at one place, you only got one W-2, that's not an issue for you. But if you know that, hey, I may have did several jobs, I haven't got anything, that, a lot of times I have clients that tell me, well, I'm not for sure if they're going to send me something or not. Let's err on the side of being safe. Let's just wait. Let's just wait a couple weeks. It's not going to hurt anything, because the issue comes up if you file somebody's taxes and you understate the income. When the IRS actually settles and adjusts everything, and you have to turn around and you may have penalties or fees, and for you to go back and correct it, you can add another month or two onto the process, because again, you're in the heart of tax season. The IRS is understaffed. You don't know when that stuff is going to get fixed. So just always make sure that you've really, asked your client, did this all the income? Are you sure these are the jobs? And if they say that, hey, I think this is it, tell them to make sure. If they say that's all they think that is coming, tell them to verify. Okay? Because it can make a world of difference if you're unstating that income or giving the actual amount. Incorrect bank account numbers. Guys, this is super, super important that, again, we got to make sure we verify and everything, especially when it's a repeat client coming in, because you get comfortable because they've been at the same job, they still got the same kids, still got the same spouse, still at the same address. So you assume what? They still got the same bank account number, which is not the case. And what happens is they got a new bank, they got a refund, you shoot everything up, the IRS sends it to that particular bank. The banks don't match, it gets rejected, and now they're mailing something, and they have to be mailed into them. What could be the problem with that? Hell, they have a new address. So actually, you send it off, it got rejected, they send a check to the wrong address, and then they have that wrong address. Hopefully they're going to send that check back, or, it may just sit there for a while. And now what have you done? You've probably delayed your client getting that check back for another 2 or 3 months. And that's probably on the short side. So we want to do a good job of always verifying, asking, hey, new address, new living situations, new bank. You got to make sure, hey, you still got a bank information, verify, still got this bank, ending in these last four for your account number. Verify everything. Verify everything, right? Just do that on the front end. Do it on the front end so you don't have to deal with any headaches later on. Because again, the onus is on the preparer to be asking these questions. We can't say, like, why didn't you tell me? You can't do that with a customer. You can't do that with a customer. The onus is on the preparer to ask the questions. This is part of your due diligence, to verify all these particular things, right? You have to do that. Hey, what is this? What is that? And just look at it. These are just common mistakes that a lot of preparers make, and a lot of these come from either moving too fast or being probably too comfortable, because especially with repeat customers, that you have where you're like, okay, I already got everything in the database. I don't have to do all the data entry over. Still verify everything. Another thing is forms not signed. You want to make sure your forms are signed. Forms being signed don't necessarily hold up the process for its filing, but just in case anything happens and you have some kind of recall or recourse, you want to make sure that these forms are signed most of the time to protect you, because in any situation where it may be an audit or anything comes back further on you, you have to be explained, listen, this is what they gave me, this is what they signed, they said this is what they had, they agreed to this particular thing. That's to protect you. If you don't have that in place, everybody's just sitting there back and forth, I didn't know, I didn't have that, and you have really no verification to say that they agreed to it, or this is what was given to me. So you want to make sure that you have that in place. Okay, make sure you have that in place. Make sure that also you have a electronic filing pen set up. and always, and this goes back to when I say the security pin. I'm sorry if I'm saying it right. UPI, the UPN number, the security 4 digit, it's 5 digit security code. If somebody has that's issued out by the IRS, a lot of times you want to ask people, hey, do you have any kind of security pin set up? And they may have forgot it because they come to people during the fall of each year. You get a new one each year, and you can go through the process of sending something out and it gets rejected. They don't have the security number. Now they have to go through the process of calling the IRS to get another security pin because they can't find the one that they have. Okay, because they're not going to give it to them over the phone. So make sure that you reach out to the verify that with the customer if they have those particular pin on associated with their tax filing. Okay, I always ask that stuff on the front end. They may have forgot, but I always want to ask because again, if they don't have it on them and they cannot find it, you're probably talking about maybe another month from the point that they got to call and get in contact with them, and the IRS issues out another one and they receive it in the mail. So make sure on the front end you ask if they have security pin. Okay. The last thing is, and this goes for both the client and the tax preparer, make sure both of y'all review it. Please review it. The names, name spellings, the addresses, the bank account, the actual, if it's a business return, the profit and loss or income statements, all the rental information, all the stock information, the donation, all that stuff. Let's review it together. Okay, does this seem right? Does this seem right? Do you see any errors, anything like that I have on there or anything? Just look at it. I trust you. It's good. We don't go on that. Sir, just look over one time. Just let me know what you think about it. Do you see anything wrong with it or anything? Fine. I'll look it over again, and then we can go from there, okay? You want to make sure that you verify it. You want to make sure they verify it before you do anything. Not double check, triple check everything, okay? I hope that benefited my fellow preparers in regards to some common errors, common mistakes that you guys can make, or we all can make rather. We're all human. We all can be experienced, but things happen. So again, 2 key things. You want to make sure that you go take your time and not try to rush through it. And the other thing is make sure you verify everything. Again, I understand it may be a repeat customer. I understand you know them well, but people have different life changes during the year they may not make you aware of. So you want to make sure you're double checking and asking those questions before you file their return. I'm Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. This is just my little quick video to help my fellow preparers out some common mistakes that we all have. Take care now.